Satnam. Thank you for joining me today. I'm actually welcoming you in my new space here where we recently moved. And I wanted to keep myself accountable. And I didn't want to prolong this any further, especially because before the move, I was focusing on not on my creative sources. And so I needed to just focus in on what was in front of me. But I feel inspired. I've had a really blessed week full of miracles and really realizations of connection to source, energy, the energy of life. And speaking of, before we begin today, I want to really start putting this like intent in the beginning of our discourses, of our discussions. Just like if you ever practice yoga, you first enter a new space or anything that you're doing, and hopefully you go in with an intention, a purpose in mind that you want out of it, the practice or the work that you're about to do. So the way I love to begin my work is through chanting, meditation, but we'll do a Kundalini mantra, and it's called the Adi mantra. And really what we will be doing is tuning in. So we center ourselves, take a moment to connect with the source of the universe, and ask that the universe present with us any divine information, anything that's helpful and for the utmost benefit of the good of everyone present today, and for anyone who will see this later. So I'm going to play it off on my computer, and I have everything set up, so let's pray that it all goes together. So if you want to take a moment to pause and sit still wherever you are, or lay down, and take a moment to close your eyes and begin to zone in on your breath. Breathing in, inhaling in through your nose, and exhaling out through your mouth. Taking 2 more deep breaths, inhaling in and inhaling out, exhaling out. One more time. Maybe taking a moment to pause at the top of the inhale and exhale out. And we'll begin our chant.
Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo.
And so the Adi mantra is really allowing us to call, again, the highest power of all good to be present within us here today, so we can really be presented with the information and be willing to receive the information that will help us. And it helps to eradicate ego or any false beliefs that we tend to hold on to. So today's topic that I wanted to touch base on is called mantra, power of voice, and tapping into our innate power to create. And so we began the practice with a chant, and the Adi mantra chant specifically. But in general, chanting and mantra has been around since the generations, our ancestors who roamed on this planet, fending for themselves, living on the earth, and even really before they began to speak and form words, right? And really, so chanting and mantra is really the production, using your breath to produce sound, but not like in letters, the way that we tend to speak in a verbal language now, but in a way that you connect to divine source energy directly. And so really, if you don't know Sanskrit, it doesn't matter because it's all done and produced by sound. And if you've seen my posts before, I'll touch base on how breath and energy is really a manifestation of the spiritual body. I talk about the mind, body, spirit, and a lot about manifestation. And so, if you've ever heard in the Bible, they say that it is said that God, the creator, the true source of all life, made the world, the universe, by breathing. And so breathing and breath is actually the connection to divine source. And so this is why it's a very powerful tool to hone into our center of who we are. Because if you know, the source creator has this potential to do everything, create everything that you see, everything that you hold in your hand, everything that you even like hold in your mind, like your mind's eye, your imagination, your intuition, your creative ability. All of that, it doesn't come from you, it doesn't come from anybody else telling you to do something. It comes from a divine source. And for example, when it comes to creating work, sometimes I can be a procrastinator. And then it's not because I'm lazy, it's because I have all these negative thoughts roaming in my mind. And I don't know if anybody here resonates with it, but like if you find moments where you find yourself one moment, like there's like this inspiration that like hits your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, this is a really good idea. You feel good about it. And you want to do something about it. But if you don't act on it real quick, what happens? Ego or negative thoughts come in, right, into the mind and start telling you false stories about, what makes you think you could do this, right? Or no one's going to see this, no one's going to pay attention, no one's going to understand. Things like that. And that's what holds me back. And so I've been practicing chanting and mantra for a while now, and I've always loved music. I never thought I was a singer, but I love music. I'm very passionate about it. And so the power of sound, breath, really, if you've ever noticed, like music in itself helps to inspire and uplift you. Like when I hit the gym and I put on some, music of choice, I feel like I'm a powerful warrior, and really, so that's what the power of mantra and chanting does. It helps to clear away the thoughts that are holding you back, or the thoughts that tend to bring you down. And so, like we said, breath is energy. And when breath produces this energy, you produce sound. And then eventually with sound, you tend to form words, right? So mantra is a powerful tool to focus and quiet the mind, to come back to center if you need motivation, encouragement, hope. When the mind is listening closely when it comes to meditation, At first, it's not easy for everyone just to sit still because you have all these thoughts running around about what do I need to do, what's the next thing on my list. And so I personally found that when I started practicing yoga, I needed to like move first. But the other thing that actually really got me motivated to sit down and meditate is chanting, because it just calms you down. Like it clears. You're focusing now, not on these thoughts, while you're sitting in stillness, trying to sit in stillness, but you're focusing on a sound, a beautiful sound of music that clears away any negative energy. And so there are so many benefits of chanting all over the world. It could be done in any language that resonates with you. I just personally have always been into different cultures. And so currently I have a couple of mantras in Sanskrit that I've learned, looked up the meanings and started to practice. And so chanting clears and pure thoughts, negative energy. So if you're feeling down, or again, if you're feeling like distracted and you can't focus, it's a practical way that you can do on your own without needing to go anywhere. Just sit still and just begin to chant or begin to recite something that resonates with you. Because again, thoughts. The thoughts that are running in your head, are they true thoughts of who you really are deep down in your core? Or are they thoughts imprinted on you from society and your family, or, experiences that weren't the best for you, right? 2, chanting brings hope and peace. Again, because it clears the space. It gives your mind something to focus on that's beautiful. Chanting reveals transcendental knowledge. And so going back to how chanting is a production of energy vibrations, and if you go a step further back, chanting, the vibrational sound that you make goes back from the production of breath, and breath is connected to the divine source of all life. And there comes a point when you recite the mantra or chant over and over and over again that you notice in your meditation practice that those thoughts that you first initially came into the practice with are gone. And then this is where that stillness comes in. And a lot of people call it different things, but either inspiration, or you start to hear the voice of your intuitive self, of your intuition, the voice that gives you some sort of peace and wisdom that nobody else could give you. And again, you can call that voice God, the creator, or just the universe. And I like to say the power of, life, really, that connects us all. And that's really the whole purpose of meditating and doing a chanting practice, because in life, especially if you're following the whole situation that's going on in Brazil, right? And we can look on the TV and we can see all these news headlines, and it's all about like fearful thoughts and fearful opinions of people. And you can choose to either fall into them and let it impact you in your life, and every other decision that you end up doing from there, even though you're not in Brazil, right? Or some other situation. But when you focus on you begin to have that peace, the feeling of love come into your space. And then you get this knowledge of what it is that you need to do so that you can become the best version of you, so you can impact a positive change onto the world. You know, if you're worried about like, what is it that I could do about the situation, sit down, ask for guidance, and see what comes that within your power, so you're no longer overwhelmed by fear. You're encouraged to do something about it, right? And then chanting again goes back, calms the mind. So it's a very powerful practice that and tool that I wanted to share with you guys, because this is what I really want to emphasize, that the power of sound can remind us to treat our words as sacred, creative, and divine power. Again, you guys have so much power inside of you. We all do. Creative power. We manifest our own destinies. We can. We don't have to feel like we're weak to the circumstances that we're presented with. Everything could change if you just paid attention to how your energy is and how you speak life, because life is in the power of the tongue, because it's connected to breath, because it's connected to the divine source of life, right? And there's this beautiful saying that says, you know, we all are spiritual, energetic bodies of the divine connection of life source, having a human-like experience. We are not humans having a spiritual experience. And so we have this ability to create. We have this ability to feel better. We have this ability to just do more with our own lives. But it's like, how do we go back? How do we use it? How do we remember that? And then I started connecting with a beautiful group of women like in the past week, and they are in the other parts of the world. And the theme came up that we have to remember our traditions. You know, we are all people of color and ethnic backgrounds and cultures that, like, you know, come, you know, stem back from the beginning of time. We were nomads, you know, and all of our ancestors had all these healing tools to feel empowered, to feel connected, to create. You know, look at the temples in Peru and Mexico. How do you think they made that? You know, and they just had so much wisdom. And so this is what I'm going to start teaching you guys, is all the tools that I've been learning along the way, and how I've noticed just this past week, because I didn't realize I was doing it, but I keep talking about the manifestation, but it's really, you know, we all are given gifts. You can call them psychic abilities, or divine tools. You know, we all are given gifts, and some of us are intuitive and empaths. And so my first toolbox that I wanted to give you was the chanting, to help you remind you that if at any point that you feel lost, you don't know what to do, you don't need to ask someone else, what do I need to do with my life? No, you just need to sit and say, what can I do today? What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? What do I need to say? Who will I speak to today that will make me feel like I'm living, like I'm giving, like I have purpose, you know? And when you just center yourself and clear it away, you'll know exactly what you need to do. It's just intuition and love and divine wisdom. And no one could ever tell you, if you feel so strongly in your heart, like a decision or idea that sounds really weird or crazy to others, move in what you feel inspired. If it's from a perspective and source energy of love, then it's right for you. And that is why I wanted to share with you this message, and I will do a blog because I've not done one in a while and I need to. Where if you go over to my website, you will see different healing modalities I allude to, and I teach, and I'm learning myself on like how to call and connect with your divine teachers, your ancestors, your divine angels. If you've ever seen little like synchronicity moments, that is just a signal that, and a sign to you that the universe is speaking to you. There's magic in the air and it's real, and I'm here to proclaim it, you know? And so I will do a blog on an example of Archangel Michael and what he can do for you, and what he just motivated me and inspired me to speak to you guys about today. Let me know what you think, and I'm so thankful that you guys joined me. Actually, before I go, I do have one more. So this is going to be just us saying and asking. Again, this chant is going to be in English. The first one was in Sanskrit. And again, chanting mantra, it's all about the sound and the vibration. It's music that you produce. And we're going to say Mikael. And I will post and then also link to this divine angel of guidance that we can ask for. Who also, speaking of like the issue with Brazil going on right now, he helps bring balance, political order. He helps us to understand adversity if you're going through any trials. And he unmasks traitors, or helps us to discover secrets, mysteries, and helps us to teach or learn as a student. Hopefully you guys can hear it. And so
42.
Mikael.
Mikael,
Mikael.
Mikael,
Mikael.
Mikael, 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 Mikael. And that is an example of how you can just call so easily on an angel to come and help you, because you are not powerless. All right? Love you guys, and I pray that the divine source of all life, of love and wisdom surrounds you today and show up in your life in some miraculous way, that it'll open your mind to begin dreaming again and beginning to tap into your power that you do have. Sat Nam.